Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and another mighty fine card trick. You use just a regular deck of cards for this one and you need someone to help you. Sir, would you like to shuffle those cards? Now the cards are mixed up. I'd like you to take half the cards for yourself and leave me with the other half. Yeah, that's fine. Now what we're going to do is we're both going to make a selection of a card, but unlike most magicians that just say take the card that you shuffle to the top, we're going to give ourselves another choice. I want you onto the table just randomly deal 3, maybe 4 playing cards. Then take the next card and turn it face up. Now this is not going to be our chosen card, this card is going to be our divining card. Now divining is a supernatural or magical insight to a future event. And our future event is the choosing of a playing card. Now what I want you to do with your card is just to go round tapping in a random way each card like this. And when you get that feeling that something is right, just drop the card on top. That's all you've got to do. Happy there? Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll get rid of these, and in fact we don't need our divining cards anymore, so I shall get rid of those into the pack. What I'd like you to do not look at your card at the moment. I've got one, you've got a chosen card. Turn the packet you're holding face upwards, like that. I then want you to take the card without looking, just insert it somewhere into the middle of the pack, like that. And you do the same. Square everything up. And finally, what I want you to do is just to put the cards face down onto the table. Now just to recap, what's actually happened is that you shuffled the cards. You cut the cards and kept half for you and half for me. We dealt a random array of cards upon the table, and then we divined our future event, our card. Now if we take a look at the one that I stopped on, mine was the black 9. If we take a look at what you stopped at, the amazing thing is that you divined the same card as myself. And that is possibly just magical, mystical, or supernatural. Here is a tutorial for this very simple card trick. It does use just a regular deck of cards. One of the things you are going to do is to stack the deck. Now I will just say that you can make this trick as easy or as difficult as you like. And what I mean by that is that at the start you're going to have 4 playing cards somewhere in the deck that you know. So you stack them. Now you can either shuffle these yourself and do a false shuffle, as I did in the routine, and that was because I didn't have someone to help me. I'll be honest, what I love doing is I love to just take the 4 cards like this, and before we start I say, can you just shuffle those cards? And I palm the 4 cards in my hand. That way they can shuffle the cards. Remember, we're not talking about video here because I have no misdirection here because of video, but people wouldn't be paying attention here. The trick's just started. You're just asking them to shuffle the cards. That's as innocent as you can get. So they shuffle the cards, and as you take them back, you just load your cards back on top. So I've got my cards on top. Well, what cards have I actually got? Well, you can pick out any 4 cards. Now I happen to use the 9s in the routine, but you could use aces, 7s, it doesn't really matter. You've got to know the order of these, so I always stack them in the chased order: the clubs, the hearts, the spades and the diamonds. So that goes on top of the pack. I leave it up to you whether or not you get them to shuffle, or maybe you do several shuffles. Just make sure you keep the 4 cards on top. It's easy. I'm sure you can even manage this if you've never done this before. Okay, so you can obviously do a shuffle, a riffle shuffle, just keeping the top stack on top like that. But as I said, recently I've been getting other people to shuffle because I just want to give it that extra punch to say you shuffled the cards. All right, but it makes no odds. It's a great trick anyway. Moving on, we've got the stack of cards. Now, I used to do this, cut the cards in half and say give me a packet, and use the magician's choice type thing. I just thought there's no need. If the spectator has shuffled the cards or they've seen you shuffle them, then just say to them, cut half the cards for yourself. They will just grab a half and you say, okay, you've left me with these. It's almost like you've been given whatever's left. Everything's fine because your cards you're not worried about, and their cards, they've got the 4 cards stacked on top. So when I said let's deal out a few cards and almost make it as though you're thinking on your feet, I don't know, 2, 3, maybe 4 cards, just throw them down in a haphazard way, not nice and neat. They do the same. Now as they deal down, all you've got to do is to remember the order. So there's a club, hearts, spades and diamonds. Clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds. However they put them down, just remember where the cards are. We both turn over the next card and we say we're going to use this as a divining card, and just demonstrate by tapping on these cards. Now your cards, it doesn't matter what you drop on because you're not going to be using that. As you tap, you drop it on one, and then I gather up the other cards and I just put them to one side for the moment. Now make sure you get yours chosen before them. You say and you do yours. Now they go ahead and tap this. Now if they tap on this one, I know that that's the 9 of hearts. Clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds. I know that's what they've done. That's as simple as that it is. Once I know whether or not they've chosen a red or a black 9, I want to have the other one for me. So what I do is I gather up their 3 cards, the same as I did for mine, but I pick up the other red 9. This is the 9 of diamonds. So I just pick these up casually, don't make a big deal of it, grab these and just put them on top. And you say, you pick this one, I picked this one. In fact, we don't need these. As an afterthought, just say, well, we don't need these, and make a point of showing them that they're going actually in the pack. So you've got rid of them. You then tell the spectator to turn their pack face up, and I turn mine face up. Remember, when you've got somebody else doing stuff at the same time as you, their concentration isn't on your hands all the time. So the next part requires a little move, and you can do this badly. They won't notice because they're actually handling their cards and they're busy getting on with the job in their hand. So once you turn face up, you say, take the card but don't look at it. Now I've actually got any card here. However, on the top of my pack is the other red 9 that matches theirs. When you flip this over, I get a break there. And we're going to do a classic move of pretending to push the card into the middle of the pack. As most of you will know, if you do this from the rear, it looks as though it's going in to the middle of the pack, but actually I'm slipping it just above that red 9 like that. And as I do this, I've got to flip this over. Now that's all I'm doing. Now I do know there's moves that you can do this. I do it quite blatantly because they're busy at that moment of putting their card in. So they're holding these face up, and you say, and you put yours in the middle, and while they're doing that, I literally just flip this over. Look at that. badly done, but I've just flipped those 2 cards over, and as a final you need to cut the cards and put them down. So I just do a cut and put them down on the table and just put them on the table. All of this is happening as they're pushing their card in the pack face down, and then say turn it over and put it down there. You're done. It's that simple. Now I know that a lot of you people watching this that have got much better card handling skills than I have, I'm sure you can do all of those little turnover moves invisibly right under their noses. I've never had a problem with this because they're busy doing their tasking. The final part is the reveal. You just spread the cards and say, look, I picked the 9 and you also picked the 9. Is it supernatural? That is the trick done. It's a very simple, almost a self-worker, just a little bit of input from you. I think you'll have fun with this. It's quick, simple, but as usual, enjoy what you do.